Hi, hopefully you can see me okay. Sorry for the minute or two delay there. YouTube decided to, well, actually my recording software decided to log me out of YouTube, so it meant I couldn't see the chat while I was recording, which, I mean, what would have been the point in coming on and chatting if I couldn't see the chat? So hopefully you can hear me okay, and this picture and everything's fine. I am just checking I have my phone on silent. I do. Um, it's highly likely Neve is going to message me while I'm on here because she's out at the moment. Um, so yeah, um, I may get a text message from Neve as she's coming home. So I hope everybody's really well. What's everybody's plans for New Year's Eve? Is people going out? Are people having parties? I don't know whether people have parties like they used to. I remember sort of when I was younger, like my mum and her friends having some really fun Christmas parties, probably at about the age that I am now, and I'm like, no, I want to be in bed by 10:30. So we've got Tracy saying hello, Sophie saying hello, Elaine, Tracy saying technology again. It's the bane of my life, Tracy, the bane of my life. Daisy saying all good. Donna saying hello. Tracy saying party of 6 at friends. Oh, that would be fun. We probably will have a few people. I think, I don't know whether my son and his girlfriend, my son and his girlfriend are coming through. Obviously Neve is going to be here. I think her boyfriend is coming up for the evening. Jason will probably pop up as well, and I will be in my pajamas counting down to when I can go to bed. Elaine says not going out, it's mad. Sophie's saying having an early night, yeah. I don't think, I'm just bringing up my thing to change my cameras and stuff. I don't think it's as bad as what I'm saying, as bad. I haven't actually been out in years and years and years. But yeah, like I've heard people say it's not as busy on a New Year's Eve now as what it used to be years ago. I got to my appointment only to find it cancelled. Wasted trip. It was the only reason I left the house. Oh, that would have been so infuriating. Rita's saying hello. First time I've managed to get to alive. Welcome, Rita. It's pretty impromptu. I just thought I'd come on. I'm just going to move my mouse out of the way and chuck it on the floor. I thought I'd just sort of come on and chat. I've got a Harlequin all cut out that I want to sew up. So yeah, I just thought, why not end the year with lots of nice people, you know, before my family come over, because obviously they're nice people too. And yeah, just sort of come on and have a little bit of a chat. Donna says, normal night for me. I still probably won't be able to get to sleep before 3 a.m. That is usually when I wake up. I can usually go to sleep okay. Where's my cup of tea? It's here. I can usually go to sleep okay. Sometimes I struggle to go off to sleep, but most of the time I can go to sleep okay. But 3 o'clock comes, or sometimes 4 if I'm lucky, and then I'm awake, and it's driving me absolutely nuts. Not last night, the night before, hardly slept at all. Last night I went to bed early, and the kids, oh, when I say the kids, I mean the kids that live pretty much predominantly with us, which are Andy's kids, would be, apparently Andy was saying we're being a little bit noisy, and he was like, for God's sake, don't wake her up. She will absolutely kill you if you wake her up after she's finally gone to sleep. There'll be hell to pay. But I didn't wake up. Sophie says, I'm going to make another log cabin block. Oh, I saw that you're getting your rulers and stuff, and I think I saw your first one that you'd made. Did you post it yesterday or the day before? I saw it briefly as I was scrolling through. Donna says I miss being able to sleep 8 to 10 hours. Yeah, stupid menopause, 100%. Although I didn't actually wake up until 10:30 today. No, not 10:30, about 9:45. I did wake up with my alarm. It didn't turn my alarm off. I put my alarm on yesterday to get up to take my mum for an appointment, and I forgot to turn it back off again this morning. So I was awake at 7:30, but I managed to go back to sleep. We could say I'm probably letting New Year in bed with Jules Holland. That sounds like a mint way. I mean, is Jules Holland going to be in your bed right there? I mean, that sounds like a little bit of a fun way to bring in the new year. I know what you mean. You're going to be watching Jules Holland on the TV. We usually watch The Last Leg. I don't know whether it's on until midnight or I can't remember. I haven't looked. But we always watch The Last Leg. Love it. I think, you know, ending the year, taking the mick out of everything awful that's happened. Not awful, but like, you know, all the catastrophes during the year is a good way to bring in the new one. Tracy's saying I end up reading my Kindle in the early hours. Yeah, I know. I try sometimes not to look at my phone to see when I've woken up, because then if I look and it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I'm like, I just get really annoyed. So, and then I try not to put my phone on so that I'm not igniting my brain, and then obviously it disturbs Andy as well. So Sophie's saying I finished the block today. I thought I'd seen a picture. So yeah, so I've got some bits cut out. You may recognise some of this vinyl from my Wales trip when we went to Abercarn. So yes, this is just what I'm sort of planning on sewing up, and we can chat. I'm using up my very last bit of this zipper tape that is from one of the previous Bag Makers boxes. So yeah, I don't know whether I'm fully organised or not, but yeah, I actually have got the right colour thread in. Andy sort of was like, are you going to change your thread? I was like, yeah, I'll do that. So I have got the right colour thread in. I have I cut out 2 zipper tabs because I'm only going to need one, because I'm going to turn the end of my zipper, but I thought I'm probably going to knock one on the floor, so I'll cut out 2 and then I have another one to hand. So yeah, so I'll switch over onto my other camera and I can show you sort of the pieces. Tracy's saying I've just ordered some more of that vinyl as it was lovely to sew. Yeah, it is. It's gorgeous. I don't think I'll need to order any for quite some time because I did buy quite a bit. But I have used quite a bit of the denim, the blue denim. I've got another bag cut out somewhere and I can't figure out where it is, but I've cut that one out in the blue denim, and the very, very last scraps of the either November or September Bag Makers box, like the purple and blue one. So that's going to be the pelican tote, which I'm going to do in a couple of weeks' time. Have you made a bag from the Bag Makers Christmas box? Is it behind you? Yeah, shall I switch back onto this camera? It is. Shall I show you it? It is. It's full. It's full of all my stuff. But I love it. Like, this bag makes me so happy. I mean, not only is it green and it's, you know, leaf and no, don't apologise, Elaine. It's absolutely fine. Any excuse to show my bag off. But I absolutely love it. Like, it's just come out sort of so much better than I anticipated. I've used, if you can see, I'll try and move the straps out of the way. I used the template to do this zipper on the back panel. I used the other one on the inside. See if I can show you the inside with all of my stuff in. So I had this sort of green flowery print. It's got a bit of beige and stuff in it as well, which I've used for my lining, but didn't have enough for my sides. So I've just used like a beige on the sides. I don't know if you can see that, which I think's worked really quite well. I've got one of the labels, trying to show you. We've got one of the labels in. I used the other accent zipper template on the inside. What else did I use? Oh, I've got my I try to basically use a bit of everything. I've got my Bloomin' Gorgeous label on the inside too. I use the handmade tag, not one of my normal tags that I would use, but I use the handmade tag. I have my D-rings on the side so I can put a strap on if I want to use it as a crossbody. I will mostly use this as a backpack. So I've used my green straps on the back, and then I've made rolled handles instead of flat handles for the top, but using the webbing. And I love it. Like, it literally makes me so happy. The first one that I used, just down there over it, that I made, that I've been using, which is over here somewhere, I didn't think I would use a backpack as much as what I did, and I've decided I love backpacks. I always used to wear a shoulder bag, and then as some of you know, I had an issue with frozen shoulder that just would not unfreeze, and it took a long time to right itself. And so wearing a shoulder bag was really quite difficult because I would always wear it on my left shoulder, which was the shoulder I was having an issue with. So then I went to wearing like a crossbody bag, which I did like, but I'm not really a massive crossbody bag person. I like big bags. I don't carry lots of stuff that I don't need to carry with me, but I carry it with me anyway. So when we went to Wales in, I want to say October, me and Andy went we stopped in Wrexham, but we went to quite a few different places. And literally the day before, I was like, I'm going to make a backpack. It's because if we're walking about, it's going to be much handier. Literally decided the day before I was going to make it. Decided on the Trailblazer, which is quite a lot of pattern pieces, but it does go together really, really well. And the Trailblazer was one of the patterns that I actually bought very, very early on in my bag making journey, and then decided to be very ambitious and like put it to one side. And then it's always intimidated me. I think because it got in my head like so early on in my journey, I was like, no, I can't do it. And I was just like, you're going to do it. And I did. So I made the other one, which I can show you because it's just to the side here. I made this one. So this is proper leather. I quilted all the side, quilted the bottom. This is like wool blend. It's like a Laura Ashley wool blend. I made this one. I made a few little mistakes, not measuring right. So I had to, you know, kind of make it work. But I just loved it. I loved the ease of having the backpack on, it having so many pockets. So yeah, so I decided that's what I wanted to make. I wanted to make another one, but I knew I wanted a green one because that's I love this one. Grey's not massively me, in my bags anyway, but I do love it. But this one is going to be getting sent to my best friend. You'll often hear me talking about her, she lives down south, which doesn't live down south, she lives south to me. And I met up with her in Leeds in November, took my backpack, and she was like, oh, I love it. And she always hints for bags. Well, she doesn't hint for bags, but like when I made the Tribbiani, she was like, oh, it's my 50th coming up soon, and I could do with a travel bag. So she got a travel bag. It just fell on the floor. So I was like, well, I want to make a new one. So when I've made a new one, you can have this one. So I'm going to send that one to her because obviously I've only used it sort of like for a few weeks. So this is going to be my new everyday bag. I love that it's got all the pockets. I can fit my phone in the front. But one thing I did do with this one, and I'll show you, is I left this bit of the pocket unsewn. So normally you would sew across the bottom here and make this into a pocket. I've left this unsewn so that I can put it over the top of a suitcase or anything if I'm going away, or if I'm going to a fabric shop and I'm taking a little shopping trolley because I'm going to buy lots of fabric. Not yet, later in the year when my band's over. So yeah, so I made it so that this can then just slip over the top. So I absolutely love it. I'm going to put it back so it's still on show. But I really, really enjoy making the Trailblazer. It's a lovely bag to go together. Elaine says, yummy. Sophie says, awesome bag, thank you. Elaine says, I love it. I've not made anything from mine yet. Yeah, I mean, I normally procrastinate a lot on what I'm going to make. Obviously, my ruched vinyl took me a long time to work out what I was going to make. But I knew as I started to get the bits and pieces, I knew I wanted to make another one. And then as I started to open things, I was like, this is going to be my Trailblazer. And obviously with the different types of fabric and the amounts that came, I could work it out. So yeah, I do. I love it. Tracy says, love it. You are so talented. Thank you. I mean, to be fair, just kind of follow the instructions. Well, sometimes follow the instructions. Shall I go back over onto the other camera? So yeah, so I just thought I'd make a little harlequin. I do love harlequin, and they're always handy to have for gifts and stuff. So I like to have a stash of them in my sewing room. But yeah, this vinyl is what I got from Abercorn. It's beautiful. It's so nice to work with. Sews really, really nicely, and it's not too thick. So not only is it easier to sew, but obviously when you're turning through as well, it turns through nicely. You don't have big bulky seams. Rita says, love a big bag. Yeah, probably why I had a knackered shoulder. I do carry far too much stuff with me. But yeah, if it's on my back, it's going to be a lot better. So, oh yeah, there's Neve just texting me there now. It comes up on my computer as well, so I can see it on my computer. So anybody who hasn't made a harlequin before, I'll quickly just show you the pieces. So I'm going to make the front and the back exactly the same. There is the option in the harlequin that you can make, you do get it so that you can have this side and this side the same fabric, and then you've just got the one seam. Sometimes I do that on the back of my harlequins and have the V shape on the front, but I'm going to do the same front and back today. So you need your front left, or my front left, my front right, and then bottom left, bottom right, and then I've got exactly the same cut out again. So you need to remember to always have them mirrored. So you cut one way, turn the pattern piece over, and then cut the other one the other way. And exactly the same with these bottom pieces as well. You need to cut one way, turn the pattern piece over, and then cut it the opposite way. So I've got two of each of them, one for the front, one for the back. I obviously have my zipper tabs. Like, see, I've cut an extra one in case I chuck one on the floor, because we all know how much I like to chuck things on the floor. And then I have my two lining pieces as well. I've just made it in exactly the same fabric. And then I've got my two pieces of fusible fleece. So the fusible fleece, you do get a separate pattern piece as well, because it's cut slightly smaller. And all of my sort of cotton pieces, my lining and my top pieces have all just been interfaced with a woven interfacing. And then I have my zip, which is obviously far too long. I'm going to cut it down. And I've got my zipper pull attached, because I thought, let's make things nice and easy, because I probably will be chatting. And I do obviously go live in the group quite a bit, but I don't tend to go live and sew on the channel, like the public channel, so much, which is actually something that I'm wanting to kind of do more of in the new year. Obviously recording the videos and then editing them, putting them out, it takes quite a bit of time. And I think it was my chat with Kasaya when she was sort of saying that she, you know, prefers to go live more because it's much easier, and sort of, you know, we've been having a little bit of a chat. sort of off air as well, and she was saying, just do it, just do it, what's the worst that can happen? And I was like, okay. So one of my things for 2025 is to obviously get more sew alongs put out on the channel, but I probably will do them in a bit more of a live format. I don't tend to call my videos tutorials because I tend to deviate quite a bit from the pattern, and yeah, so I prefer to call mine sew alongs. So I'm going to start by putting these pieces together. So obviously you can tell which ones go together by the angle that they are at. So you literally just take a top and a bottom, and I line up this short edge. Sophie says, I hope you don't mind me making notes. Absolutely not. Make as many notes as you want. So as I say, I line up this bottom bit here so I know it's nice and straight, and I'm just going to clip them together. So this size pouch is 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Obviously if you've used the Harlequin, I'm going to just clip them all together and then start and sew. If you've made the Harlequin pouch before, you will know that it does come in a variety of sizes. There is an extra large, there is a pencil case, I couldn't think of the word then, and they all have slightly different seam allowances. Leanne does have a guide for what the seam allowance is for each one, and the pattern for the Harlequin can be found in Leanne's Facebook group, as well as the sheet for what the seam allowances are, and I think it actually tells you like what size zip as well that you need. I just tend to cut mine as I go, and I'll show you how I cut it when I get to that stage, but it does tell you the size of the zip. So you will see that you get this little triangle shape here. So basically when you're sewing, your stitch should come to about here, and then it means when you turn it over, it should in theory all be nice and straight. So when I'm constructing, I construct at 2.5 stitch length. When I top stitch at 4.5 usually. So when you see me switching between stitch lengths, that is the stitch length that I'm using. When I'm constructing, 2.5. When I'm top stitching, 4.5. When I remember to change them myself. So like I say, seam is 3/8 on this one, and I'm just literally going to sew all of these along, and I'll probably chain like chain stitch them so that I'm not wasting loads of thread. Oh, my camera device has decided to stop working. Just going to see if I can bring it back up. There we go. Switch over to my machine angle. And I am just sort of back stitching at the beginning and end. And then I just unclip them all, and it means I use a lot less thread. My thread is a 45 Tex thread from Little Stitch Sews. Oh, I said that no problem that time. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten out these seams. Obviously this is vinyl, so I can't press it. If you're using all cotton, you can press it with an iron. I'm just going to finger press it, and then I'm going to top stitch down each side of the seam. So I'm basically butterflying the seam. So it's this bit, as we're putting these pieces together, that takes the time. Sort of once these bits are together, the rest of the pouch just sort of goes together so quickly. I'll change back over to my my machine camera, so hopefully you can see. So I'm stitching around about 1/8 of an inch away from the seam, and then hopefully you can see that it is just sort of opened out, butterflied, however you want to see it, so that I can top stitch down each side, and this seam's flat and this seam's flat. So change my stitch length. Has anybody had any plans that they were going to do today that's changed because of the weather? I've seen that Edinburgh have cancelled all of their fireworks and everything. And I think, again, I'm just going to top stitch, chain stitch these all one straight after the other. I think Newcastle, obviously, which is near where I live, they normally have like a big fireworks display down on the quayside, and that's all been cancelled as well because of the weather. So even more reason to stay in nice and warm, in my pajamas, drinking my tea. I'm so boring now. Donna says, disappointed with the zip pulls I got from Amazon. I should have known better and wait until you were open again. I just wanted to do the Bartleby, I think that's how you pronounce it, sling I am now cutting out. Yeah, it's like, I'm the world's worst for being impatient. I know how you feel. When I have something in my head, I just want to do it, get on with it, and yeah, I don't want to wait. So now that I've come down each side of the vinyl, I'm now just literally going to do exactly the same thing, but on the cotton side. And I'm just making sure I keep that seam nice and flat. Sophie's saying I was going to go to the gym this afternoon, but the weather put me off. Yeah, I've been over to see my mum earlier on and took her for some food shopping, and that was about as far as I wanted to go. Sorry, my bobbin sounds a bit funny, so I don't know whether I'm getting low. So they are all top stitched now, that way and then that way. So hopefully you can see how they are going to start and come together. I'm just going to trim off my little ears, triangles, whatever we want to call them. The gym put me off going to the gym. Yeah, God, I used to go to the gym all the time. I was a right little gym bunny. But yeah, I've not been in a very, very long time. I probably do need to start again. But it ain't gonna happen today. So I think I'm gonna get my stapler. So we now want to put these two pieces right sides together and stitch down the middle. And what I like to do, because we all know how extra I am, is I like to just think of all the hunky guys you are missing, Donna. Have you been to a gym round here, Sophie? Not missing much. So yeah, I like to put these together where they match. So, and I'm just going to pop a staple in. Donna says, "Oh, advert." Yep. Sorry, Donna, but yeah, that is how on public videos I earn an income, basically. So you will be used to our lives, which are in the club, which obviously don't have adverts. But yeah, any public videos will have adverts. So I'm putting a little staple in there. I can use a clip, but I like to staple where the where they meet, so that as I'm sewing, it doesn't move. So I always just take a second or two just to make sure that it's lined up nicely. I'm happy with it. And then I can move ahead into sewing. I must all go to your gym. Oh, we might be joining your gym then, Sophie. I don't imagine it'd be that far from me, because I don't think we live far from each other. Andy be watching this going, excuse me, you've got a hunk at home, which I have. I'll just get Andy to come with me, and then I'll have something nice to look at. So, right, what did I do with my seam guide? Quite often use my seam guide to keep everything in place. So, you know, if you struggle with your seams, not knowing sort of exactly what's seam to sort of keep to, by all means use a seam guide or draw it on. And then where I'm coming over where the join is, I'm just back stitching a little bit as well, just for a little bit extra reinforcement. Oh, Mo's joined us. Hello, gorgeous people. Sorry I'm late. Happy New Year's Eve. No, it's fine, Mo. You're absolutely welcome whenever you decide to join. It's fine. So I'm just trimming off my threads because I don't like having threads lying around. And I'm just going to use my staple remover. Best thing I have ever bought, this staple remover. So much better than those other awful types of staple removers. They just come out so much easier, and I don't stab myself in the finger. Emma's here. Hey all, editing my pattern while watching. Oh, well, I hope we give you some inspiration and some positive editing vibes, because I know how long and tiresome things like that can be sometimes. Obviously I don't edit patterns, but you know, I've done my fair share of website editing this last week or two, so I know how that feels. And then I'm just top stitching down the side of each bit exactly like I did before. Obviously when I come to this part here, this is going to be a little bit bulky, so sometimes I just like to sort of gently walk it over with my single stitch, and then I'm just going to do exactly the same. Tracy says, love my guides. Thank you, Emma. Yeah, I literally use like all my templates on that bag. I Even down to my rivet placement, I use the ruler with the rivet placement on it to place my rivets properly. So it was well and truly an Advent box bag, 100%. I'll tell you what I'm going to do just before I start this last seam is I'm just going to pop my iron on to warm up so that I can attach my fleece. So where this is kind of bunched up a little bit, don't worry about it too much. It's just because this material is thinner than this material. It will flatten out once the fusible fleece has been added. Just put my lining pieces there. I'm going to have a slurp of tea while my iron finishes off heating up and catch up with the chat. Seagull Craft says, hiya, joined late. What are you making? We're making the Harlequin pouch. I'll go back in and add a link to the Crafted by Eliane's Facebook page. So the pattern is a free pattern in Leanne's Facebook group, and it has lots of different variations. So this is the pouch size, which also does a pencil case size, like an enlarged size. You can turn it into a crossbody. There's loads of variations with this pattern. So I will go back in and put a link into Leanne's Facebook group where you can find it free. But it's called the Harlequin. So I'm going to let you just chat amongst yourselves for a second while I go and pop my fleece on. You should hopefully be able to hear me still okay because I have my microphone on. I'm not using the camera microphone. Once it's attached, I'll kind of show you how it's kept out of the seams. Donna's saying, use the rivet ruler for making seam allowances perfect size. Still not sure how to use it for rivets. It was so good because I used the 1.5 inch measurement, and it just really, like, my rivets are always a little bit wonky, a little bit like me. But yeah, I'm like really happy with how the placement of them came out. So I'm just making sure that this is well and truly attached. Normally, if I'm just doing a little bit of pressing out, I will just use my little iron next to the sewing machine, but this, I want to make sure that the fusible fleece is well and truly attached, so I'm using my bigger press. Well, I'm using my bigger iron, to be fair. And I always use a Teflon sheet for anybody who's interested. I'll show you it in a second, just to protect my my material from the heat. So I always use a Teflon sheet to like iron over. It's a little bit like a pressing cloth. Some people sort of like use a silk cloth. I'm just a cheapskate and use a Teflon sheet. Or give them a second or two to cool. So yeah, so this is basically what I use. So just to kind of give you a bit of an idea, I'd have my pressing mat, and then Oh, actually that bit's not attached very well. I'll go back and do that in a second. And I then pop my Teflon sheet over and then use my iron over the top. I'm just going to go back and do this corner because I've obviously missed it. The better. It's not the end of the world if the fleece comes up a little bit at the corners, because you usually do catch it slightly with your seam, so it would be fine. Right. So you can see how this fusible fleece is smaller than the pattern pieces, so it's kept out of the seam allowance, and so it keeps the bulk down. So our seam allowance is 3/8 of an inch. So I tend to measure my zip. Obviously there is a measurement, which I think is 8.5 inches for the zip to be cut to. But what I tend to do, because this seam is 3/8, I then like to give an extra 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just marking in 3/4 of an inch from either side, and then I'm going to work on my zip. So I've already attached my zip pull. Oh, it's really shiny on the on the light. I've already attached my zip pull, and I'm just going to again just use my 3/4 inch ruler and align the edge of my zip against one of the lines on my ruler to make sure that it's nice and square, and mark a line. I don't take it from the edge of the zip in case the edge of the zip isn't straight. So I do have a full video showing the turning the zips to the 90-degree angle, which I think is linked in the description box, so you can go and watch that, and I do explain it in much more detail as to how to do it. But I do like to use my lighter to keep it all in place. Donna and Emma are just in the chat discussing leftover hardware of the bag maker's box. Oh, I can't believe, well, I can believe, I was going to say I can't believe how well the bag maker's box went, but I can believe how well it went because it's amazing. And obviously all the usual bag maker's boxes are absolutely fantastic. They're so good. That looks easier than trying to sew it. It is, but you have to be very, very careful not to burn your fingers or set things alight. I basically just sort of singe the edges. This light is awful. I bought these because I hate the other lighter that I've got, which is this one, but they don't work very well. So it is basically just melting the edges. And then this one doesn't want to work very well though, because I'm not getting in very well with the flame. That's better. But yeah, I need to find some other lighters. I like these ones that are like, you know, sort of candle lighters, but like a mini version, not like massive, but trying to find a nice one isn't easy. I'm still just going to go in and pop a couple stitches in just to keep it in place. I just find that melting it and then stitching it. I just find makes it easier sometimes than trying to put a pin in, but in the video that is linked, I do show you putting a pin in it. Click lighters are easier than the wheel ones. You might be out of gas. No, the new, the brand, like they're brand new, they're just not working very well. And I don't know if they're refillable. I'll have to get Andy to look because I'm not very au fait on so confused on how to measure if you had an 1/8 to the 3/8. Isn't that half an inch? Possibly. But I maybe's meant a quarter in my head. Yeah, it would be half an inch if you add an 1/8 on, but in my head it was actually a quarter of an inch I wanted to add on. I'm just not very with it today. But yeah, I make it a 3/4 on this one just because I find it turns better. But you're right, Tracy, my math is not very good. But yeah, I do need to find, so if anybody has a good link to ones that are like this as Bic, so I thought buying a Bic would be mint, but it's obviously not. If anybody sees any that are good and like that, let me know, send me a link or tell me where to go and buy them, and I will just go and stock up. So how I measure my zip is I'm putting it up against that little mark. You might not be able to see it 100% on the camera, but it's there. And then I go along to where the other mark is and then mark where I need to cut. But I always come in like a fraction in from that mark, because by the time I've added on my zip end, it will have increased in length. So just to kind of keep it within my marks, that's what I do. No, Tracy, absolutely not you at all. It's my math. I just, yeah. So normally, as I say, if it's 3, like whatever the seam allowance is, I'll add on either an 1/8 or a quarter, usually an 1/8, but because I'm using a vinyl tab, I'm going to add a quarter on just to make sure that I have plenty of turn. But like I say, it's just my math is not good today. Donna's saying maybe my eyes, I'm struggling to read the markings, not sure what the different holes are. So is that on your rivet template? I don't know what I've done with mine. I've obviously put it somewhere because I've just used it the other day, otherwise I could have shown you. I've obviously put it in my thing somewhere. I'll have to have a look for it later on. Oh, hang on, it's here. I've put it away somewhere different. So yeah, so this bit here is the 1 inch. So basically what you would do is, so if this was your webbing and it was 1 inch, you would line it up and then your rivet placement and your rivet placement, or your 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 1/2 is here. So I'm trying to put it behind something so that you can see. So you have this line and this line, which is your 1 1/2, and then you have 2 rivet placements. So you would line this end up against the edge of the strap and then place your 2 holes for your rivets, or that way, depending on which way you were going. But yeah, I just found it so much easier to use than trying to sort of guesstimate it. Sophie says zigzag lighters from Poundland are good. I shall check them out. I just, like I say, I think this one is one that I pinched off Andy when he was still smoking, and he used to just lose all of his lighters to me. But obviously he doesn't smoke now, so I can't pinch his lighters, which is obviously a good thing. But but I just, you know, I don't really understand about lighters very much, apart from lighting candles. So I'm just popping a little bit of double-sided tape on to keep my zip tab in place, and I'm just going to top stitch that on. I should have moved my thing a bit closer. Just make sure I'm on the right stitch length. And then I just neaten it up, make sure that it's all nice and straight, and then we're going to pop it on. If you want to add a handmade tag or you know, like a nameplate or something, this would be a good point in which to do it before you start constructing the bag sort of too deeply. It's much easier to do it when everything's flat. So I'm going to pop some double-sided tape between those two marks. Apologies for my dog barking. Somebody must be coming in the house. So again, with these being live, you know, apologies if you can hear things going on in the background, but you know, you have to take us as you find us. We are a busy household with lots of people, which is a great thing, but it can be a little bit noisy. Is it okay to not fold under like bias tape? Yeah, so obviously because this is vinyl, it doesn't fray. So I don't want it to be too bulky, so it's just one side. It's not double fold. So I'm just going to pop this along the edge and basically making sure that the edge of the zip goes along the edge of the pouch. Stick everything together with the double-sided tape. If you want to, you can base this in place at this point as well. I'm just going to mark my centres on these. Obviously I know where my centres are on this because my seam is there. And then I'm just going to sandwich these together, matching everything up. Don't worry too much if your lining piece goes slightly over like this bit. It's just, you know, obviously with this being created with seams, sometimes it can be a little bit out, but don't worry about it too much because it will be okay. Just make sure that it's centered. And I'm going to swap my foot over onto my other zipper foot. No wonder I was struggling then, tried double folding. Yeah, if you're doing it in vinyl, always do it single. It won't fray, it will be fine. So I'm going to sew this on. Because I'm using a number 5, I'm going to use a 3/8 seam allowance because I'm using a number 5 zipper tape. You can use a number 3 zipper tape with this pouch as well. If you're doing a number 3 zipper tape, make your seam 1/4 inch. So I'm just trying to make sure that that light is not too bright. I'm just going to back stitch over the front of my zip. Just make sure my zip pull is out of the way. Does anybody got any plans for their sort of sewing into 2025? Anything that you want to try? Anything that you you know, want to do more of? I'm really interested to know. I'm just finger pressing this down. And I don't top stitch mine with the sides together. I top stitch mine with the seam going towards the main panel, and then I top stitch along, keeping the lining out. And that is so that we end up with a nice flat pouch. I'll go this way with us having this zip put on. And I just kind of use my hands just to sort of keep everything nice and flat, making sure that that seam is sitting nice and straight underneath. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. Oh, I have marked that one, yeah. Tracy says, focusing on making steampunk theme bags to attend fairs at Filey, etc. Oh yeah, they would go down so well. Like Filey, Whitby, places like that, steampunk would go down really well. JP says, really want to try sewing with leather. I just got a new machine that can handle it. It's been a learning curve getting used to it. Oh, exciting. Which machine have you been getting? I'm dead nosy. Donna saying the pouch I did over Christmas was top stitching through the lining only. I found that strange. Yeah, it pretty much kind of works, I think, the same way, just the opposite way. You're just really keeping everything nice and flat, and then you know, like reducing the bulk in the corners, so that it basically means that you don't get sort of like bulking up in your corners. So I'm just going to match my centres. Oh, I've still got clips out. Donna says, I love steampunk, but Whitby is so far away. Yeah, it is from where you are, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite a journey. I haven't actually been to Whitby for ages. I think that needs to be on my list of places to visit over the summer this year. I was wondering what that noise was there. It's the wind coming through the windows. JP says it's a salt right leather work. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Do you top stitch full width or just between the markings? No, full width when I do it this way. If I was doing it where they were folded together, I would just do it between the markings. But when I flatten out the bag and only top stitch through the exterior and keeping the lining out, I do the full width. Put them away for now. You see, I just use my fingers just to press it out of the way. And again, I'll go this way with having this foot on. So I want to make sure that my seam is towards this part. You can hopefully see that. And then I'm, like I say, I'm keeping the lining out. Oh, change your stitch length, Deb. Right, my seam has moved there slightly. So I'm just going to take a couple of them stitches out. Thankfully this thread is very good match, so I can get away. I'm not going to have to take it all the way back out. Just take it back to there. So basically my seam started to roll and I could feel that it wasn't nice and flat, so I've just stopped and I'm just going to line that up. Because my thread matches really well, I can get away without taking it all the way back. I'm just going to move this light ever so slightly. But if it was really contrasting, I would have had to take it all the way back to redo it all again. Sue says, good afternoon, a bit late, but have family here, it's chaos. Mine will be soon. So I am hiding here with you guys until that happens. So just cutting back all my threads. I hate loose threads. So, oh, I thought I'd gone back to that camera, sorry. Right, so home straight now. I'm going to get my staple back out again. So what I like to do again, a little bit extra, is I like to match up where the V is and put a staple in. I then like to match up where my top is, and I'm also going to put a staple in there too to keep that in place. And then match up these seams here at the bottom and put a staple in, and then I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. I need to take that one out, move it ever so slightly because it might be in my seam allowance. We shall see as we get to it. So I just put those staples in there. I don't really staple anywhere else. I'll just use clips, but that just keeps all of those sort of seams together, and it means they don't shift and they all line up in theory when we sew them together. Brian is obviously having a party already, and I take it from that little drink there is possibly on the whiskey. I think Andy might be on Guinness this evening. I shall be cup of tea because I'm boring. And I just can't take the pace anymore. I hate having a bad head. I love a glass of red wine. I love a glass of red wine. It has to be a Malbec because I'm a bit of a snob. I'm going to have some tea. But yeah, I just can't take having the bad head the next day. So I like to stitch my pouches in a little bit of order. Now you can just go straight from this top seam all the way down because we've clipped here, so it should keep it in place, no problem. But I do like to start here and stitch to here, stitch along, and then stitch up this side. If I feel that everything's still lined up, I'll stitch to here, and then I'll flip over and I'll stitch this seam here. The reason being is I just like to I like to keep everything lined up and in place, and I don't like things to shift, so that's the way that I do it. Brian says, unfortunately not yet, technically still working. Okay. Plus it's only 9:30 a.m. Well, yeah, it's a bit early, I suppose, but I mean, it's New Year's Eve, so you know, if you want to start drinking whiskey, I suppose at 9:30, it's allowed on a New Year's Eve. So I'm just literally going to start from here, and then I'm going to sew all the way down. I'm going to keep an eye on this staple here because it might be in my seam allowance, but we shall see. Yeah, I think it is. So I'm just going to wiggle it out. Thank God for having slightly longer nails. I'm just going to back stitch over that seam there where we've got that extra bulk. And again, back stitching over this seam here too. Donna's just going to be having a cup of tea too, so I'm not the only one. I just love a good cup of tea. Like, I just don't think you can beat it. Do love a Yorkshire tea. That is my favourite. But then I'm sure it was on one of the lives, somebody was saying about yeah, I'm happy with how that's lined up, so I'm just going to keep going. About Rington's tea, I think I'm going to have to try and get some Rington's tea and try that. So then before I do my bottom seam of my lining, I'm just going to flip over and come back to, let's just trim these threads, come back to this first seam, I can take out these staples because it has been stitched, so it is in place. So I'm just going to start where I originally started my back stitching. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. My light decided to collapse. I think I need a new sorry, it's just broke everything. Let's just go back. Are we pretty much in the same position as we were? I think we are. Apologies for that. That was my light collapsing and it took my camera out as it went. The joys of being live. If we can get through lives, we can get through anything. So yeah, I'm just literally starting where I originally started sewing and then coming down the lining. Sue says, oh no, I don't like tea unless it's herbal or fruit. Coffee drinker here, especially an iced coffee. Neve would be with you on that one. I don't drink as much coffee now as what I used to. I used to absolutely live on the stuff. But yeah, I am a big tea drinker. Tracy says champagne definitely can, yeah. Sophie's saying cup of tea and homemade dark chocolate muffins for me. That sounds lovely. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just come back over onto this camera just for a second, and I'm just going to mark where I am going to be leaving my seam open. Obviously, because it's a pouch, we don't have a you know, zip or anything that we're turning it through, so we need to leave an opening in the bottom here. One of the reasons I like to make a mark, and so that I know where I'm sewing to, but it also reminds me to stop sewing, because the amount of times I have got to this stage and then just literally sewn right the way along, and then been like, oh, I need to leave an opening to turn it, and then I've got to unpick it all. So yeah, I now make a mark. So I'm gonna have to get Andy to have a look at that light. I don't know why it'll be fine, and then it's the sort of the bit where it attaches to, it just unwinds and then flops. Brian says tequila. Yay. So I'm going to sew my boxed corners. I'm just going to make sure that I can get my hand in, and I'm going to flatten out these seams. What you can do is, if you want to, you can push one way and one the other so that you reduce the bulk. I'm just going to flatten mine out, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to line them seams up so that, again, it's all nice and neat. So is people having picky teas tonight, or are you ordering takeaway? Obviously Sophie's having dark chocolate muffins, which sounds like heaven to me. So I'm just obviously flattening it out and just trying to make sure that everything's lined up nicely. And then I'm just putting a staple in just to keep it all in place, and I can just use clips for these bottom things. Now you'll notice I haven't trimmed my seams back yet, and I'll show you why in a second. I do think it's easier to get the seams nice and flat like this when they are still full. This one does not want to open out. There we go. So if you want to, you can staple your lining as well, or you can just pop a clip in. It's up to you. Tracy says we're taking something to our friends to nibble on. I'm going to have proper roast potatoes made with goose fat, pigs and blankets, probably sausage rolls, got some onion rings for Ethan, but obviously I can't have them. What else have we got? Oh, you'll all go, I've got a great big bag of sprouts. They're just for me. So yeah, bit of a weird concoction, but you know what? I'm really thoroughly looking forward to it. So I'm literally going to sew each of these corner seams now and hope my light doesn't attack me anymore. Daisy's saying we will be on the cheese and crackers with a wee glass of wine. That sounds lovely. I'm not a massive cheese fan, but I do like very occasionally I do like a cracker with some cheese on. I tend, if I'm honest, that I have most of my cheese on pizza or on toast. I love cheese on toast. My favourite. Donna says, had lunch out. So you won't be having anything massive this evening? Or sometimes when I've had dinner out, sometimes it fills me up for the rest of the day and I don't want anything else. Or sometimes I think it just makes my stomach bigger. And then I'm like, I'm just hungry and hungry and hungry. The more I eat, the more I want. Can't win. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what we call a picky tea. And I don't even know like who's in my house or anything at the minute. Just making sure that that camera's not sitting on my machine so it's not too wobbly. I don't like to say I don't even know who's in my house, who's not in my house, who's landed, who hasn't landed. I could hear voices before, but I think it was Ethan. Donna's saying she's now eating a Bakewell tart. I tell you what I had for my dinner earlier on. I really could. Oh, couldn't be saying no one yet. I don't know what time Alex is due to get here after he finishes work. It'll probably be a bit later. Sophie's saying crackers with Branston. Yeah, I'd say I couldn't be bothered to make anything properly earlier on. So I literally had a crisp sandwich. Brian's probably watching this going, crisp sandwich. I don't know whether it's a proper English thing that we do, but yeah, I had a crisp sandwich. It was lush. So I'm just trimming back my corners here. Donna's saying Happy New Year to Andy. I didn't actually realise he was on. He's been very quiet. So I'm not going to take any bulk out of the main part of my seams. Oh, forgot to take these staples out. But I am, Brian's saying no clue. Okay, so like I think obviously crisps are what you call chips. We call chips French fry, right? No, we call French fries chips. But yeah, crisps for us are what you call chips. So like salt and vinegar, ready salted. And then you literally have it between 2 slices of bread, preferably very, very fresh, and lots of butter. And it is basically a heart attack waiting to happen, but it's delicious. Andy's saying, hi Donna, just popped on to check in. Happy New Year, everyone. Have you opened your Guinness yet, Andy? Apparently there's like a Guinness shortage at the minute. So it's been really difficult getting Guinness, but when we went shopping with my mum earlier on, we managed to get a couple of cans. So Andy's saying no, not yet. Daisy says must be Taito. I'm not sure what that means. She can come on and tell me in a second. Brian's saying I'd be down for that. Okay, I presume Taito or Tato is an Irish thing that Andy understands because obviously Andy lived in Ireland for quite a long time. I'm just obviously turning this bag through while I'm looking at the chat. Donna's asking if your dad liked the bag, Andy. It looked amazing. Yeah, I'll let Andy come in and answer that. If he doesn't, I will. So yeah, so I'm obviously presuming that Tato or Taito, however you pronounce it, it must be an Irish thing or Northern Irish thing. So I am just making sure that all of my corners are pushed out. and then I'm going to do the same here. Yeah, Andy's saying his dad did really like the bag. Cloud saying hello everybody, got held at work, got to miss the start. Oh, well, I'm going to leave it up, so you can come back and watch, and you can put in the comments. I'll see in the comments anything that you might want to add. Daisy says Northern Ireland crisps. Oh, so it must be like sort of like a brand of Northern Ireland crisps. That's mint. Brian says I am craving a Californian burrito, which is carne asada and fries stroke chips. So a little bit like a chip butty for us there. I'm going to say that's a really northern thing, but I don't actually think it is. I think it's you have chip butties wherever you go, but I think probably us up in the north we do like a chip butty. So I'm just pinching my seam together. I basically pop my fingers in, pull it nice and tight, and it will sort of level up with the seam. Donna saying no, definitely chip butty in Norfolk. Yeah. Do you have scraps on yours though, Donna? I have scraps on mine. Cloud saying Deb, that fabric is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful, isn't it? And I actually ended up with this fabric because I bought it for something else I was making for somebody, and when it came, it wasn't what I thought it was going to, because I ordered it online. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was a bit darker in colour. Like online, it was like a cream beige colour. When it came, I was like, well, that's not what I was expecting. But I actually really like it, and I haven't done anything with it yet. So yeah, I'm loving this fabric. It's really it must have like a bit of polyester to it as well, because it's really quite soft. It's not a cotton. It's not totally a cotton, but I think it must be a polyester blend. But it's quite thin, so I have had to quite heavily interface it. But it's working. It will be fine. I need to change my foot back. I shall catch up on the chat while I do that. Donna says, oh yes, definitely scraps. Just don't eat fish anymore. I'm not a big fish lover. If I go at the chippy, I tend to just get chips, but with mushy peas as well. I do love mushy peas. Brian's probably like, what the heck are they all talking about? But Brian is just going to have to come over and get all of our delicacies. It's a delicious Mexican marinated beef. Is it really spicy though, Brian? I'm not a fan of the spicy food. I think because I've never really sort of eaten it. I'm just not one for, like, I don't do curries. Obviously I can't have onions. So I've got to be really careful. Oh, but Brian's been informed that they are having salads. Oh, that'll be fun, Brian. But isn't a salad just marinated beef with chips in a wrap? I'm sure that's what a salad is. Daniel's saying, what about a pickled egg? Do you know what it is? I've never actually had a pickled egg. Never tried one. But that's definitely a chippy delicacy. Sophie's saying Geordie's invented the chip butty. Oh, well, if we didn't invent it, we certainly make a good go of consuming them all. Not that I'm Geordie, because I'm not. So yeah, so I'm pushing out this corner and make sure it's sitting all nice and flat. Daniel's saying they're the best. I'll have to try them. Chocolate counts as salad. It's made from plants after all. 100%. Deb, I don't know if that was intentional, but your beautiful nails are matching your fabric nicely. I know, aren't they going so well? It's not like me not to have green nails. I normally always have like green. But when I went this time, I was like, I fancy sort of a purple, but these are like they're like a burgundy. So I thought, oh, they're a little bit Christmassy. We can go with that. I'll probably be back to green next time though, folks. Green or navy, I tend to go. So I'm just basically pushing through everything, making sure it's all nicely pushed out. I'm happy with it. I'm just going to go back into this corner and just make sure that that is. There we go. So there we go. We have our Harlequin pouch. I love this fabric. It's come out really, really well, and I think it matches this vinyl lovely. I have got another bag to cut out. I need to finish off cutting my Trailblazer out for the club so long. And look what I'm going to be using. This one, I'll just move my other NCW out the way that I need to make. I'm gonna use this, Brian. I'm gonna use my chicken fabric that I bought the other day, well, the other week. So this is going to be my Trailblazer that will be sewn up in the club. We do that each week, and it's really sort of really broken down. I'm going to pair it with this vinyl, and yeah, make it in this. So in honor of Brian. So I need to finish off getting all that cut out. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has come out. Yeah, I love a Harlequin. I think they go together so quickly. I mean, I can usually, when I'm not chatting, I can sew one in about half an hour, 40 minutes. So like, because literally sort of doing your pieces, I mean, there is a pattern piece where you can cut out just this full V, so you don't need to have this seam in the front, but I like it. It's just a me thing. But I just think, I mean, how good are they for like gifts and stuff like that? I always do like to have a bit of a stash of them, and then if I'm struggling for something for somebody, buy them a couple of nice toiletries, put them in this, and I mean, that is just a mint gift. Brian saying, I can't wait to see it. That's lovely fabric. I'm truly honoured. I just want a chicken bag, Brian. Like, I have to have myself a chicken bag. Cloud says, never used a pattern, not good enough yet. I might give that one a try for sure. I'm absolutely positive, Cloud, that you will be good enough. It's follow the steps. Just, you take it nice and easy. This one is really like quite simple. Obviously, putting these pieces together is what takes the vast majority of the time. And just, if you've got to draw your seams on, like to get it lined up, to get it sewn exactly how you want it. Draw your seams on, use a seam guide. Just try to make sure that when you cut out, you're quite precise, and then you try and keep your seams quite precise, and then everything will come together. Tracy's saying, wishing everyone a happy and healthy new year. Rita's saying, very nice. Donna's saying, go for it, Cloud. Absolutely. Daniel says, I love the Harlequin pouch. Yeah, me too. Daisy's saying, happy new year, everybody. Just thought, like, be a really nice way to sort of end the year. Like I said, I do want to do more live sewing. Obviously, if I'm doing bigger, more intricate patterns, I might have to break it up over a couple of steps, i.e. a couple of days. But I'm just going to kind of see how we go. Hopefully my light won't break, and it's it's literally like this at the minute. It's just kind of hanging there, like, and maybe that's been on the tequila. Brian, have you been putting my light on some tequila? It's definitely had something. It's like I say, it's just sort of hanging like this at the minute. It's not technology. It's something's trying to thwart me, but it didn't thwart us. We plodded on and carried on. So Brian's saying with the mushy, it's been on the mushy peas. Yeah. Wasn't my mushy peas that made the light go. Elaine's saying lovely bag. Yeah, I do. Um, it's just one of my favourites. I think this and an NCW are one of the things that if I'm struggling with my sojo, I'll go back to, because I know that they come together beautifully. It kind of like reignite my sojo. Like if I've had a bag pattern that I've like really struggled with, and I'm sort of, I need a bit of a boost, I'll always come to this one. Uh, Donna says it was a nice bonus to have this live today. Yeah, like I say, I just thought what a nice way to end the year. And can you see how well lined up the bottom is? And hopefully you can sort of see the sides as well. Sort of stapling them and keeping them in place, it does really make a difference. Karen says, gorgeous Harlequin Deb. Thank you. But no, I've really kind of, like I say, enjoyed coming on and chatting with everybody. Like I say, I do want to do more live sewing in 2025 on the channel. I really, really need to kind of focus on the channel quite a lot this year. My sort of efforts and energy, for want of a better word, have all been in to the website and the supply side of things for the last couple of years, and I really kind of feel like I've got like the website looking how I'm happy with it. It runs really well. Obviously I've done so much work on it to sort of get it to a stage where it's discoverable and what have you. So I feel like I can kind of take a little bit of a step back from that now. Supplies wise, new things will get added sort of as and when, but I don't really feel that like there's anything that I kind of really want to go down with the bag making supply side. Like I'll never ever get into doing vinyl and selling vinyls and all of that sort of thing, because A, I just don't have the space, and B, I can't lift the rolls and stuff like that with my shoulder being the way it is and what have you. So I really feel like the supplies that I have are kind of the core supplies that I really, really want to keep and continue to grow. But so like zipper pulls and stuff like that, I'll kind of grow the range, but it'll be much more gradual, where it's been really quite, there's been lots of new things come into the website over the last few years, and that's kind of at a stage now where I think that's kind of going to slow down, and the website will just kind of keep going, and it won't take as much work from it. It's still going to take work, but it won't take as much. So really want to sort of focus on my YouTube channel, and for me as well, like I really want to grow as a bag maker. I want to really start pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I want to start tackling patterns that I probably necessarily might not have tackled in the past because they intimidated me or they scared me. So yeah. Donna's saying side release buckles, please. I had them, Donna, and they didn't sell. I had them for about a year and a half and they just didn't sell. So that's why I don't have them anymore. Cloud saying staples. Ooh, I never thought of that. Donna saying me neither, mind blown. But yeah, I think it was on, oh God, I can't remember who it was, probably one of Lauren's or Kasaya's videos that I saw one of them using staples. And then I really enjoy watching Butter Bags. I think she's called Rebecca. She mainly sews for like custom orders and then films like making them, primarily I think on TikTok, but then she uploads them onto YouTube, and I just love watching her work. She's just so calm, and yeah, just I love watching her, and she uses staples quite a bit as well. So yeah, if anybody's wanting anybody new to check out, go and watch Rebecca on Butter Bags. She tends a lot of the time to sew like the same patterns because she has a core thing of patterns that obviously she sells, but she's just amazing to watch. Cloud says you give off proper calm vibes too. I am probably one of the least calm people you would ever come across in your life. Like I'm like all of the time. Andy's constantly like, when I'm stressed and things are like, oh my god, oh my god, Andy's constantly having to go, right, calm down, is that helping, like, just, it'll be fine. So maybe he's starting to rub off on me a little bit. I'm not as like panicky as what I used to be, which is another reason why I really want to try and do more lives, because I do get in my own head, and then I'm like, I can't do it, I can't do it, and then I don't have time to film it, I don't have time to edit it and then upload it. So if I just come on and film it live, like, if it goes Pete Tong, it goes Pete Tong. Like, we're all friends here. So, you know, like I say, what's the worst that can happen? But I do like watching, I enjoy watching Kasaya so live, I enjoy watching Lauren so live. I really enjoy watching Rebecca from Butterbags. Um, so yeah, so go if you're not, because I know Rebecca's channel is only quite small. If you're not following her, go and follow her. And just as a side note as well, anybody who follows Brandy, Brandy Jackson, I think it's Beans, so I can't remember her exact channel, I'll put a link in the description. Go and check out her website, her YouTube as well. As some of you may know, because I have shared in our group and what have you, you know, she's had a really rough time of it recently with her husband falling ill. And, you know, obviously people like us, we earn our living by being online and promoting, you know, for her it'll be our videos and what have you. So while she's not able to be online as much, please do just go and check out a couple of her videos, even if you just have them playing in the background, because it's all revenue for her while, you know, her family are going through a really difficult time. So, you know, if her channel can still be creating revenue, that's amazing. And let the ads play. If you skip the ads, she doesn't earn as much, so just let the ads play. I know, because ads for me, like, I pay for premium on YouTube because I do use YouTube so much. I do pay for premium because I can't be doing with ads. But what I've actually been doing is I've logged into my, like, just my other Google account on my YouTube, and I've had it playing on my other phone. So I think, you know, when you've got YouTube Premium, people still get as if you did watch ads. But I've had it playing on my other phone so that she gets the ad play. So I've literally just had it playing in the background. You know, I've sometimes had it on the TV watching her videos while I'm in here. But when I've not had the time or not been watching YouTube, I've just set it away in the background. And I've basically set away one of her longest playlists and just let it roll. But yeah, bean bags and handicrafts, that's it. I knew it was bean something, but it has Brandy Jackson on, you know, if you search for her on YouTube, it'll come up. So please do go and give her videos a watch, and, you know, help keep things ticking over for her while she focuses on what's really important at the moment. But yeah, but that's like one of the things I love about our community. Like, you know, we can all rally for each other when we need to. We're all here to help each other out. You know, I've forged some amazing friendships through sewn bags, which is really random. Emma, for one, who is watching us in the background, obviously working on a new pattern, folks. So anybody who's in her club, that will probably be coming out really soon, which is exciting. So, but yeah, but that's kind of my focus for next year. I might be changing up the podcast ever so slightly. Still be going, but I might be changing to sort of bi-weekly or what have you, just to kind of alleviate some of or to maintain my work-life balance a little bit better. But I'll keep everybody informed. Oh, Rita's saying dinner's ready, so I'm off. Thank you, Debs. Wishing everybody a healthy and happy 2025. Enjoy your dinner. I'm going to go and put my roastatives on in a minute and sort out my pigs and blankets. Like, I mean, Is it even Christmas and New Year if you're not feasting on pigs and blankets and roast potatoes? And it basically becomes one of the 5 food groups, doesn't it, over Christmas and New Year? Cloud saying purse frames terrify me. Yeah, I haven't really done many patterns that have purse frames in them. I don't know whether that's maybe it's because I'm not drawn to them patterns, possibly, or whether I just scoot over them because I don't want to tackle purse frames. I'm not quite sure on that one, actually, but we'll see. But I do have a big pattern stash to work through. Cloud saying, the reason I started watching your channel is because I love the gentle delivery. Oh, that's fab, because I'm really quite nuts in real life. That's why I joined the Facebook group. Yeah, I'm quite quite a lot to deal with in real life. Brian says, I definitely need to go on a food trip to the UK. Yeah, just come over here, Brian. We'll sort you out with everything that's delicious in the northeast, and then we'll just take you on a tour of the UK. Just I want to come with you and talk chicken bags. Donna says, try doctor style bag with a frame but don't know where to start. Yeah. Is it one of the Emmeline? I think it's the Retreat bag uses like a big frame, and I do actually really fancy making one of those, so that should maybe be on my list for 2025, but I don't have that pattern, so I need to work through some of my other patterns first, because that is my goal for next year, is to stop buying patterns and then never making them, because what's the point in that? Brian says, I'm so down for that. Yeah, and we'll obviously have to go and stand outside. Is it Horse Guards or Buckingham Palace where they have, I think it's Horse Guards, isn't it, where they have the mounted military. Shout at people for getting the reins and stuff that your mum watches. So we'll have to go and get footage to send back to your mum. Cloud says, I've heard mentioned your technique for putting recesses in. Can you signpost me? Something I really struggle with. So with recess zippers, I'm trying to think if I've got a bag to hand that's got. Have I got one of my nets? Let me think. Don't know. If Andy's still watching, you might be able to pass my net in from the bedroom if he's still watching, and I can kind of explain probably a little bit better by showing you with the bag. Hang on, I'll message him just in case he's not watching anymore. We'll see if you bring it in for me, because it'll be easier to show you what I mean with the recess zipper. But normally you'll get like 4 pieces, so you'll have 2 top pieces, 2 lining pieces, and then you'll sort of sandwich your zip. So it'll be like a top piece and a bottom piece, and you'll sandwich your zip. And then at the ends, you fold over your seam allowances, obviously, so that you don't have a raw edge. But what can happen, especially when you have, the folded, I'll turn it this way so you can see better. When you have the folded zip, if you've then got 2 seams at this end, it can get really, really bulky. It can be difficult to sew through. It doesn't turn that well. So it can be really, really bulky. So I always do my recess zippers in one piece. So it does mean that your top, like what shows and what's underneath. Oh, that one. Thank you. I wasn't sure whether you were still watching or not, so I thought I'd text you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'll open this out and show you. So I make my net bags slightly different. I don't have it in the zip in my seam at the top. So I've changed it so that I have a recess zipper, like this. So normally your recess zipper would be your top piece and then your underneath piece. So you can have the underneath piece the same as your lining, but because I do it in one piece, it does mean that what's on the top and what's on the bottom is the same. But hopefully you can kind of see. So this bit is folded rather than it isn't two seams. So this end you can see has seams, and normally it would be the same at this end. So how I do mine is I take my pattern piece, I take off one seam allowance, and then I double it, and then that gives me the one piece that makes my recessed zipper. I hope that kind of makes a little bit more sense. So yeah, so like I say, rather than sandwiching it between two separate pieces, I sandwich it between one continuous piece. And where this folded part is, I'll just fold it over so you kind of get what I'm talking about. Where this folded part is, sits on a fold rather than two seams. I love your accent. I hate mine. I am French. Wow, like I get so many people saying that they hate my accent. So that really does mean quite a lot, because I do get people saying they hate my accent, they can't understand me, my accent's too strong. But I'm sure your accent is beautiful if you've got a French accent. I mean, yeah, like I'm pretty sure that you'll have a really, really lovely accent. But thank you so much for complimenting my accent, because I hate the way I talk. It's ironic since how I'm online talking. But yeah, I have had quite a few people saying like, oh, I hate your accent. Like, can't understand what you're saying. And I don't think my accent is particularly strong. And I try not to use sort of slang words or like colloquialisms. Sometimes I'll slip into it, but I try not to. I don't, as a rule, to be fair, speak with lots of slang words, but occasionally, sometimes, you'll use like a local word for something. So I try not to do that so that people understand me. We've made Sophie hungry. I'm getting really quite hungry now since I've only had a crisp sandwich for my dinner. Cloud saying that's clever. Donna's saying that's clever. And Hazel saying she does all of her zipper panels like that. The traditional ones drive her mad. Yeah, I change all of mine up. So basically, if a pattern comes and it's got basically 4 zipper panels, zipper placard panels, I just take one of them pieces, take off one seam allowance, not both seam allowances, just one seam allowance. So if it's 1/2 inch, we'll take off 1/2 inch and then double it. And it's as simple as that. Janice is saying, I think your accent is delightful. Thank you. I always love a French accent too. It's so rich. Yeah. I love accents. I love hearing different people's accents. I love sort of like, I just find it so interesting how, we all talk so differently. And even, people who live not that far from each other, just that slight change in distance and the accent changes ever so slightly. I think I've spoke about it on quite a few lives now, about my youngest daughter is in uni away from home and has picked up quite a bit of, because she's in uni in Yorkshire, she's picked up quite a lot of like the Yorkshire accent. She's had roommates who were Liverpudlian, so she's picked up some of those accents. And yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, it is literally like the way Lavender and Twine does hers, and that's kind of like where I first came across it. And I think somebody was saying about, which pattern was it that was done in a similar way? and they've got a sale on at the moment as well, and I can't, it's gone out. Knotted threads. One of the knotted, I think it's the Gaia bag. That recess zipper is done the same way, and I know Knotted Threads has a sale on at the moment. So yeah, so there is quite a lot of bags do use that method. I don't think it's, it's not exclusive to one pattern designer. It's just, I think she does all of hers that way. But I just change it up now. So if if a pattern comes and it's not done that way, then I change it and I do it that way. But I change loads of things. Like I like to do my slip pockets a certain way, so I'll tend to just cut out a slip pocket a certain size and put it in that size, no matter what the pattern is, unless the slip pockets obviously forms part of the pattern. Zipper pockets, and very, very rarely just do like, like a letterbox and then post it through and press it. I tend to always do have I got it on this one? I'm sure I have. Yeah, I tend to always do a zipper accent, so I'll change up the pattern slightly and just put in a zipper accent that'll fit. But yeah, I do tend to just do things the way that I want to do. Cloud's asking, do you make your own patterns, Deb? Is that a silly question? No silly questions, but no, I don't do my own patterns. I've got no intention of designing bags or patterns. I love to make other people's bag patterns. I love the variety that we have in the community now, with so many pattern designers out there and what they bring. And I'll tend, sometimes if I'm making a bag, I'll be like, oh, I like this from this pattern, so I'll put that in as well. And that's one of the things I really love about bag making, is being able to, even take a pattern and make it your own and make it totally different to how somebody else would make it. So yeah, but I've got no intention of designing bags and releasing patterns. It's not, I don't think that would be my strong point. I like to change things up and I like to do things differently. But yeah, Donna's saying, I must not buy any more patterns. Still, if it's before midnight, it doesn't count, right? Yeah, to be fair. And if there's a discount, it only slightly doesn't count. Saying, I've never done a zipper accent. You'll have to tell me what your actual first name is. I probably will try and remember it. But your username, I think, is Valutikuk, but you'll have to tell us what your first name is. Saying, I've never done a zipper accent before. It scares me. It's much easier once you've done it, because you're not turning it through, you're not pressing it. It takes a little bit more time because it's Valerie. It's V, so I should remember that. You might have told us it before and you'll be like, we didn't remember the last time, but I should remember that this time. But yeah, I always do zipper accents. Tracy's saying, do you have a video showing how to do a zipper accents? I have. I think it might actually be linked in the description box down below. If it's not, if you go to my masterclass playlist, it's in there. Elaine says, oh, bad gum, I'm Yorkshire. Oh, honestly, it's like, I find I'm picking up certain ways, like Yorkshire ways of speaking, because of Neve. And I do spend quite a bit of time down there visiting her as well. So I'm down in Leeds at least once a fortnight. And I don't actually think she'll ever come back home. I don't think she'll ever move back up here. So, because she just loves it. She loves Yorkshire, and I can understand why. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. But I do find that I say things like certain Yorkshire, like I can't say, if I was going to say Barnsley, I would say Barnsley. And I've got to really think about how I say it now, because it's just automatic now for me to go Barnsley. I can't say it without saying it the Yorkshire way. That's, sort of something that's come from her, and and her boyfriend. But yeah, like, and I say it'd be right, it'll be right, which means obviously for anybody who's not from our way, basically means it'll be all right, it'll be fine, don't worry about it. And I find myself saying be right, which is obviously a Yorkshire saying. So yeah, I think I'm becoming more and more Yorkshire myself the more time I'm spending down there. Cloud saying I'm Welsh, isn't it, boyo? I love Welsh accent. Absolutely love it. I mean, I've just spent the last 2 weeks binging Gavin and Stacey, waiting for the finale. But I do love Welsh accent. Um, Sophie saying why I man. See, Sophie doesn't live far from me, so I think I think Sophie's a proper Geordie from where she lives. I'm not a proper Geordie, but I think Sophie is. But yeah, Cloud, I love the Welsh accent. I absolutely love it. When we were down in Wales a few weeks ago, obviously it was sort of like North Wales as well, which I think's a bit softer accent than South Wales, I think personally. But oh god, it's just lovely hearing people speak. It's just, yeah, but I find accents really, really interesting. I find them fascinating. I love like Scottish accent, I love Irish accent, I love. Um, yeah. We had Diane on a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. Oh, her accent was just lovely. It's just like proper lush. Just like it just felt like you were being cuddled. Sue saying love a Scottish, Welsh, and especially a Geordie accent. Well, you're in the right place. Valerie says, I'm from Hartlepool originally, now live in Cheshire, and kids are Stokies. Yeah, so a lot of my family are from Hartlepool, so that sort of way. So yeah, I know that area quite well. Got lots of family down there. Donna says it'll be Arithbo, which is obviously a Norfolk term. Cloud saying everyone loves Geordies. It was voted the most soothing accent to have in customer service several years in the run. Yeah, we have a lot of call centres up here. We do have a lot of call centres up here. Hazel saying, "Hi, I'm Norfolk, got a light box." Oh, I just like to say, I just find for us being such a small island, we are a small island. We're not a tiny island, but we're not massive. Like when you look at like how big America is or Australia is, that sort of thing, and like how much sort of difference we have, and like how people speak, and our sort of customs, and like I just think it's fascinating. Sophie's asking if I'm a Macam. Not quite. I'm like in between. So anybody watching, Macam is from Sunderland, Geordies are from Newcastle, and I'm kind of somewhere in between. I live closer to Durham. And I don't think there's a term for people from Durham. I don't think. So yeah, but I love, and I just think for Britain as well, we have just such a beautiful countryside. We have such beautiful like coastlines and stuff. I really want to do more visiting of different places in the. I mean, I've been to a lot of places in the UK. I have done a lot of various places in the UK, but I'd love to go to more places in the UK. I really want to do the 500 in Scotland. I love Scotland. It's like going home. Wales is utterly stunning. You're absolutely right there, Cloud. It is beautiful, beautiful place. And I just think we've just got, the coastlines that we have. I mean, an hour for me, and I'm up on the Northumberland coastline, which is absolutely stunning. If you haven't been to somewhere like Dewar Bay or Almouth, when you're up this way, go there. It is absolutely gorgeous. We've got the lakes, we've got a Peak District. We've just got so many beautiful places. Cloud saying we have feral goats and everything. I was laughing, Cloud, because I follow somebody on YouTube. You probably all know who I'm talking about when I talk about the tradie wife. I follow her on well, it's usually Instagram actually, because I don't really go on TikTok. And obviously she's Welsh, and something started about Arifs, like must be like a sign, like slow Arif. And it obviously became a bit of a joke on her channel about these Arifs. Like, and like she even did like I don't know whether it was AI or something about these like flying Arifs and what have you. And then it was only when I went to Wales and I saw a sign, I was like, oh, it means slow. And it worked out that it meant slow. So I was like, it was just so funny. Like, you know, obviously say got its totally own language, and it was really weird going over to the border and then seeing all the signs in like sort of translated. Um, Brian says, I'm stuck with Cali surfer languages, gnarly waves, dude, righteous. It's not. It's who you are. It's who you are. Elaine saying she's from Barnsley. Daisy saying, I love you talking about your bairns and your mum. Yeah, so, you know, my children are my bairns. Hope my mum is recovering well. She is. She's doing really well. Donna's saying she lives on the other side of the county. And that her surname is the same name as the village. I have lots of stories around here. That's so funny. Michelle saying, hi everyone, happy new year everybody. So yeah, I hope whatever you've got planned today or this evening, or how you're going to bring in the new year, if you're anything like me and you're probably in bed, I might stop up, I don't know, but I'll probably be in bed. My thought is, my sleep has been so awful lately that if I start the new year asleep, hopefully that'll be a good omen. That's my thinking anyway. If I started asleep, I might get some better sleep in 2025. Andy's like, please God, let this woman get some more sleep because she's driving me nuts. Cloud saying, good plan, Deb. Yeah, I mean, was anybody else when they were younger? Like, when I'm not meaning like as a kid, like, because I'm sort of like heading towards 50. Only a couple of years off 50. But I remember when I was sort of like younger, maybe it's when the kids were younger, everything had to be done New Year's Eve. I had to have no washing in the basket. All my ironing had to be done. The place had to be spotless. It had to be like northern term licking, as in it had to be shiny. It had to be beautiful. Now I'm like, I don't care. There's washing in the basket. There's always going to be washing in the basket. If there's washing in the basket at midnight, it's not. It doesn't mean that there's going to be loads of washing. That 5 people in this house is meaning what that there's loads of washing. But yeah, I used to be ridiculous, like racing around, spending all day New Year's Eve cleaning, tidying, and now I just think, oh nah, no, I'd rather be on here chatting to you guys, sewing, and yeah. And I can hear Andy in the kitchen, so I think if I stop him long enough, he might do the he might do the roast potatoes. Oh, might make Yorkshire puddings as well. Cloud saying good plan, Deb. Yeah. Michelle saying I find lots of people up north use a lot of words that us Irish use, like mam, ben. Yeah, I think obviously it's a lot of like because of Scotland, Ireland. There's a lot of crossover, and then like Scotland and people coming down into like the northeast, making it over the wall. Yeah, we do have a lot of the same terms. Donna saying they say whatever you're doing at midnight is what you'll be doing most of the year. Yeah, well, if my kid, I want it to be sleeping. I'm sick of not sleeping. Daisy saying she can remember that when she was younger. Yeah, like, you know, when I was like a young mum and felt everybody was sort of watching us and judging us. That was sort of everywhere had to be spotless, and now I'm just like, nah. Cloud saying that's a common thing. New year, no residue, new you. Thing is, no one needs to be a new you. There's nothing wrong with the old one. Exactly. I'm not having any resolutions this year. I have some goals that I want to work towards, but I've got no resolutions. But one of my goals, I'll put them here and then you can keep us in check. One of my goals is to drink more water. I am shocking for not drinking enough. And being somebody who suffers with migraines and the different conditions that I have, it's not a good thing. Like, I need to drink much more than what I do. So yeah, one of my goals is to drink more water because I'm not great. I drink a lot of tea, but even then, like during the day when I'm busy and there's nobody else in the house to kind of bring in something to make sure I'm having it, I can go hours and forget. So yeah, and a better work-life balance. I have been a lot better towards the end of 2024 at getting my work-life balance a little bit better. So that's just going to continue, and that's going to be a goal that I'm going to continue to work towards. So yeah, and business wise is to really focus on the YouTube, going live more, and obviously really concentrate on the club as well, on the Bagmater Society Club, because I love it. I love that in there. Michelle's saying, I did that today. It's a bad omen if there's washing in the baskets. It means you have full baskets of washing all year. Yeah, I have full baskets of washing all year anyway, Michelle. Like I say, there's 5 people in this house and 5 like grown people going, well, when Neve's home. So there's always going to be washing. I'm not breaking my neck to get it all done. I can hear the dog going. That's Neve. Cloud saying tea, the drink of gods. Got to be Yorkshire though. Yorkshire tea. Although I do like a posh oldie tea as well. But I am going to try the Ringtons because somebody did mention about Ringtons, so I'm going to try some Ringtons tea. Cloud says I keep a big bottle on my desk. It seems to work if I put pear and apple juice in it too. Yeah, I have got some of those drop things. I don't mind water so much. I don't particularly love it, but I don't mind it. But yeah, and when I'm in here working, I think what I need to do is I've got one of those big Stanley cups and I tend to drink my tea out of it. But I should bring one of them in full of juice, and then if I would just work my way through that during the day, then I'll have drank enough. So I need to start doing that. So if I ever come on alive, the first thing somebody should say to me is, have you got your water? And then it can keep me right. Michelle's saying, if I do make a resolution, it'll be to do more things that I want to do rather than the stuff we're expected to do. Past caring about society's expectations. 100% right. Yeah, I do find as I'm getting older, I'm starting to care less. I wish I cared a little bit less than what I do, but I'm getting there. Sue's saying she drinks about 2 to 3 litres a day. You need to sort of tell me how you do it because I am shocking. Michelle's saying, have you got your water? No, but I've got a cup of tea, which I've near enough drank. I have drank quite a bit today, but I haven't got my water with me today, so I need to just get in the habit of when I'm going to come on alive is making sure that that's all set. So I've got my seam ripper and I've got my water, and what else will I need? So Cloud saying that's a great New Year's resolution, Michelle. It's a brilliant one. Care less about what society thinks and do what makes you happy. I think as long as obviously it's not detrimental to anybody else, then do what makes you happy. I have been a lot better at sort of not pandering to people. Like, I am one of life's people pleasers, and I'll go out of my way to do things for people to my own detriment. And I'm getting a lot better at saying no. Like, obviously nicely, but I am getting a lot better at like, no, I'm sorry, I can't. And that being that, not explaining myself, I am getting a lot better. Sue's saying I have to keep my kidneys flushed due to my treatment. Yeah, I mean that's it. I need to drink more water because of my health, like the migraines that I get, and then obviously the tablets that I take to keep the migraines under control. Like, it's one of the things that says you need to drink plenty of water. And the side effects I get from the tablets are always worse when I don't drink a lot. So I'm like, I should take a leaf out of your book, Sue, and be better. Michelle's saying, I think as we get older, we do care less. That's the one thing I don't miss about being young. Amount of years wasted thinking about what others think of me. 100%. If only we could go back, give our younger selves a bit of a clip and go, stop worrying, it's fine. And he's got the potatoes on the boil. I told you if I stopped in here long enough, we'd just do it. That's why I married him. Just in case anybody's like, that's definitely 100% why I married him. Sue says, as soon as your beaker's empty, go and refill it straight away. Yeah, I mean, I have got one of them like massive ones, and it keeps it really cold. Michelle's saying she's a people pleaser but getting better. We should start a support group, Michelle, People Pleasers Anonymous, because, Brian's saying great hint, Andy. You know what, Brian, I'm just going to stop in here chatting to you guys. I'm enjoying myself. Obviously not all my lives are going to be this, it will predominantly so on. I just wanted to come on and chat to you. I think because we haven't done a podcast in a few weeks, I'm missing you all. Sue saying, what time is dinner, Andy? Probably about 7, half 7. Bit of a long way to come though, Sue. But I mean, if he's putting Yorkshire puddings on, they're worth it. Sue says, love having a chat. Yeah, it's weird because like obviously it's just me talking to my camera, but it's not, because obviously you guys are all in the chat, and yeah, it's lush. I love it. But I will leave this one up. I'm not going to take it down. Obviously, as I say, it is like way more chatty than what what it would be normally. It will just be, the lives will just be sown with a little bit of chat. But I just, like, as I say, I wanted to end the year with a catch up with you. Andy's saying, was that a hint, laughy face? I don't care, mate. You started now, so you might as well finish. Hazel saying we're having Chinese night. What you have? I like Cantonese chicken. That's my fave. And I've got to have crispy seaweed. I can't ever face trying to get through to the takeaways on a New Year's Eve. And then, I mean, obviously I could go and pick it up. Wouldn't need to have it delivered. But just trying to get through to them. Nah. So I say, picky tea. But as Daniel says, I'll have to get some pickled eggs one time and try them. I probably won't like them because I'm really fussy. I'm like really fussy. But I can try them. Hazel saying we're having a selection of stuff. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Or unless you like what you call them off Gavin and Stacey, Smithy, where he just doesn't share any of his food. So like when he orders all the things and they're on about sharing, he's like, no, I'm not sharing. That's just for me. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to just going and having picky stuff and me sprouts. Sue saying Happy New Year, honey. Happy New Year. Daisy saying I like stuff, just not Chinese stuff. Yeah, like Andy doesn't really like a lot of takeaways. If we get a Chinese takeaway, he'll only have chips. He doesn't like sauce. The man doesn't have gravy on his Sunday dinner. He's probably still watching. He's like, Deb, will you shut up about me not having gravy on my Sunday dinner? Because I just can't get over it. Michelle says, I've done nibbles as my daughter and her boyfriend to come in for New Year. So is my son. We'll have a few drinks and maybe chilling in bed. Mind dog because of the fireworks. Yeah. Oh, you're close to Ali Pali. Oh, beautiful building. Yeah, I'm not looking forward, if there's fireworks tonight, I'm not looking forward to that because Bruce really doesn't like them at all. He used to love them when he was a puppy, or until he was about 3. He used to sit outside, watch them, loved them, and then he just decided he was normal, not liking fireworks at all, and he gets like shakes, hates it. And obviously with Hamish being poorly now, he's kind of getting where he's not keen either. Susan, we had a buffet with the family round, pieces restored here now that they've gone home. 3 grandchildren with special needs, hard work. Yeah, sometimes it is nice when you have visitors, when like everybody's gone and you can just go and chill. But I do like a house full. Like, I love when everybody comes over, and like that's like my favorite day of this whole holiday is Christmas Eve, because that's when pretty much everybody comes over and you've got all the excitement for Christmas. And we still do New Year's Eve boxes, Christmas Eve boxes, even though they're all grown up, and we do Christmas dramas, and I just love it. I love that hustle and bustle. Cloud saying, thank you, Deb, for taking the time to have a lovely chat with us. It brings us all like-minded people together. New year, new friends, a perfect way to end 2024. That's lovely. And that's what I thought. I just thought, come on, have a chat, end the year in a really, really nice way. Do a little bit of sewing. So yeah, Michelle's saying she's already dived under the duvet. She's a chihuahua, so very much a diva. I've got 2 Scotty dogs who are absolute divas, so totally get what you mean. Brian saying gravy is a beverage for me. Me too. Sue saying what? No gravy? I know. I can hear whisking. I think he's making Yorkshire puddings. Oh, I'm so excited. This is why I'm chunky. Like, I can't say no to cake. I can't say no to roast potatoes. I can't say no to Yorkshire puddings. That's maybe what I need to be leaving behind in 2024. But hey ho, I love them, so I'm not going to. Michelle says, I don't like gravy on my dinner either. Well, you know, variety is what makes the world go round. I just like to say, like, I'd literally drink Andy saying gravy is a vile liquid. I mean, obviously he waited to tell me that he didn't have gravy on his Sunday dinner till after I'd fell for him, because it might have been a deal breaker, but you know, I was committed by then. Sue says it's even better when someone else is cooking. Daisy's asking, what's a Christmas tree situation? Mine's going away tomorrow. I think I would have actually probably had mine away yesterday or today if I'd had the time or the energy. So mine is probably going to go away tomorrow before I go back to work with a bang on Friday. Brian's laughing at Andy. Yeah, he just, like, when they bring Sunday dinner, if we go out for Sunday dinner, which isn't very often, but if we go out, Andy's like, no gravy for me. And I'm like, I'll have his. Like, just bring his gravy in a bowl for me, because I will have it. Like, swimming. Love it. And it's got to be proper, like, none of this thin stuff. It's got to be proper gravy. Michelle says, I like the term my dog's vet uses. It's very well conditioned. So now I say I'm not chunky, I'm just very well conditioned. Yeah, that's me. I had been really good last year and lost some weight, and I've put a tiny little bit of it back on, but not all of it. But I need to start and rein myself back in a little bit. Sue says, mine didn't go up this year as we were away, but I do have an outdoor tree. Andy would literally just put a bin bag over ours, and if we had a loft, which we don't, but if we had a loft, it would just literally get a bin bag over it and put away decorated, and then just got down again the next year. But yeah, Michelle's saying, I'm putting it all away tomorrow, Christmas be gone. Yeah, isn't it lovely to get all the decorations up and it all look really magical? But then it's just so nice to have everything back to normal, and just like not sort of be surrounded by stuff that you're not normally surrounded by. Like, I think apart from Christmas Eve, like I say, is my favourite day of the whole holidays. I think the day where everything starts to go back to normal is possibly a close second. I do like the normality being restored. Oh, but yeah, but I can, like say, I can hear lots of whisking, so I think there's Yorkshire puddings on the go. Michelle saying, if I had a loft, I think I'd do the Andy trick too. Yeah. Or if I had sort of somewhere to just store it where it could stay up and just have a bag over it, then that's what would happen. So I'm going to go and make myself a fresh cuppa. I'm going to go and have some water. I am going to go and have some water. And then just chill. I think I'm going to go and put my, I did consider coming on my in my jammies. But I thought, no, Deb, stay dressed. So I'm going to go and put my pajamas on, get nice and comfy, and just enjoy the rest of the evening. Oh, one of the other things I think I should probably warn you and tell you, like, I'm thinking of growing me grey out. So the roots are getting pretty bad, but as the coming weeks go, you may see the roots getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because I'm thinking of growing out my grey. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I just warn that, just so I don't get people coming on going, roots, Deb, roots. No, I know. Sophie's saying she lives on her own. Do you have a Christmas tree up? I don't. If Andy, if you know, me and Andy went together and he was still on his own, he wouldn't have a Christmas tree. He would just not bother. Michelle's saying, yay, water. I should put a picture up later on, shouldn't I? Jug of water. Daisy saying, have a lovely evening. Sue saying, Happy New Year, Deb, and everyone else. Sue saying, me too, in relation to Sophie's comment. And Michelle saying, Happy New Year to you, Debs, and to your family, and have a lovely evening. We will. I've really, really enjoyed chatting. I didn't expect to be on for a couple of hours. I thought I'd be on about an hour. So I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting to everybody and, you know, ending the year this way. Sue saying, I did that, Deb, was your colour and got fed up of having it coloured, so now great and no regrets. Yeah, it's just, I'm sick of the bathroom being purple. I'm sick of everything being stained, but I can't do just normal brown hair. But if any of you have seen pictures of my mum, which I have put up some in the group of when I got married, you'll see my mum has the most beautiful coloured hair now that it's all gone grey. It's gorgeous, and I'm hoping, I'm very like my mum in lots of ways, so I'm hoping that mine's gone the same way, but I haven't ever left it long enough to actually know fully how grey I am. So I might just use sort of like temporary colours to hide the roots a little bit until it's more grown through. I'm going to play around and see what happens. Cloud saying, nothing wrong with being who you are, grey hair or no, the rest is just dressing. You're beautiful exactly how you are naturally. Yeah, I just think to myself, like, you know, might as well embrace it. I embrace the curly hair now, obviously when it's down. Couldn't be doing with down hair today. But yeah, I'm thinking I might quite like it grey. It'll just depend on how grey it is. If it's still in that really in-betweeny stage, I might not be quite ready yet. Donna's saying, I wouldn't bother at all with decorations. Yeah, Andy wouldn't. Brian's saying, New Year blessings to you all. Gravy or not, you're a great lot. Yeah, like I say, variety is what is, you know, the spice of life, isn't it? Michelle's saying Happy New Year to Andy. Donna's saying Happy New Year, as are both Sue's. So yeah, I think a really good point to end it. And obviously, if you're watching this back on a replay and you're like, oh my God, why are they talking so much? It's, you know, it's an end of the year chat and get together. Normal lives will just be predominantly sworn with a little bit of chat. I'm going to do, for, I know there's quite a few of you in the chat here who are in the club, I'm going to do a sort of vlog, because obviously I haven't been vlogging in the club, with doing more for Vlogmas and stuff. So I've got some plans for how I'm going to do Vlogmas next year, and ways that I'm going to do the exclusive vlogs in the group. So I'll either put a video up, or I might just do it live. But I'll post in the club group and on the club pages when that's going to be. Probably it might be the weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna change up the exclusive vlogs a little bit in the new year for those of you that are in the club. So yeah, so Daisy saying thank you, and I hope everybody has a lovely new year. If you've had a really crap 2024, I hope that 2025 is so much better for you. You know, new starts and all that, and it can be left behind. 2024 for me has been a bit weird. You know, it hasn't been the best. I've certainly had worse years, but it hasn't been the best. I'm not going to be sorry to see the end of it. Definitely going out of it with less people than we wanted to be going out of it with, and who were sorely missed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 2025 and hoping that there's no repeats of horrible things that have happened this year. Cloud says, looking forward to what comes next. Have a great new year, everybody. Thank you again, Deb. It's been lovely. Yeah, everybody, I hope have a really lovely evening. I hope if you do partake in a Guinness or a whiskey or a wine or two, the headache isn't too bad in the morning. I'll not be all smug tomorrow morning with me no hangover because I've been boring and sat and drank tea. But I hope there's not too many fuzzy heads in the morning, or I hope if you do have a fuzzy head, it was totally worth it and absolutely absolutely worth every single, like, you know, pain that you get. So yeah, water. I'll not be drinking tea. I'll be drinking water. No, I'm going to go and have a glass of water, and then I'm going to go and have another cup of tea. Sparkle Mint says Happy New Year. Valerie says Happy New Year, everyone. So yeah, so like I say, more lives in 2025 of the sewing variety. I might start and do a monthly just chatty video if people would like that, if they're enjoying it. We'll see. We'll see what 2025 brings. I'm kind of just going to go with the flow and see what you guys are enjoying. And I mean, putting it bluntly, you know, I have bills to pay. So the things that people enjoy the most are the things that will make my business grow the most as well. So, you know, win-win situation. So until next time, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a fantastic 2025, and I'll see you all in a few days. Bye.